Hello everyone, welcome to the second video of the Engineering 102A, 102B OSCR Solidworks workshop. In this video, we'll be walking you through how to make a pressure plate for your first lesson on the Solidworks tutorial. So in this dialog, we're going to select Part, and that'll open up a Part workspace. So what we want to do is save this thing right off the bat. So we're going to save this as pressure plate. You can see it's saved as a part. Later we'll be working with drawings, and that'll be saved as something else, and you'll actually save it as a PDF as well. But for this, SolidWorks part works perfectly fine. So go ahead and save that. One thing to know is, as I mentioned in the last video, SolidWorks crashes, so save your part pretty often, and also VCAT can be a little unreliable when there's a lot of traffic, so again, another reason to save your part. So first off, we're going to change this down here. It's our units to MMGS. If you don't do this now, trust me, it's a pain to redo your whole project switching from IPS to MMGS. MMGS just stands for millimeters, grams, seconds. So yeah, just go ahead and do that now. And to walk you through some of the interface, here we have the standard toolbar, right? So that has everything with saving, opening new files. You have edit, view, insert, tools, etc. We won't really be touching any of the simulation or windows or help, although in the help you can find the SolidWorks tutorials, which also walks you through how to build this part. Although following along with the video is perfectly fine. We'll cover everything that they cover. So besides from this standard toolbar, you have the command manager, and the command manager has a few different tabs. We'll just be sticking to the features and sketch tabs, and so that's how you'll sketch things, that's how you'll extrude things or cut things, etc. Then you have your heads-up view toolbar. This is how you can shift between views and different view settings. We'll be using that as well as the space bar on our keyboard, which pops up this menu. You can also do the view selector, which is control spacebar. This is really helpful when you want to get into isometric views or angled views. So for now, we'll just ignore what view we're in, right? Because we don't have a part, so you can't really tell the difference. Then you have your task pane. We'll just be staying in the graphics area, so don't worry about changing anything here. And then we have the features manager and design tree. So this will tell you a few different things about your workspace, and it keeps track of all the steps you've taken. So what sketch you've used for what extrusion, which edges you've used in your fillets, etc. So now I'll talk a little bit about sketching first. So sketching in SolidWorks is really easy, honestly. You have the sketch tool here, and then you have a whole bunch of options for what you're going to sketch. One thing that's super important is having a fully defined sketch. If your sketch is underdefined, it'll be blue, and when it's fully defined, it's going to be black. And then if it's overdefined, which hopefully you won't encounter, it will either appear yellow or red. So if that happens, just go ahead and hit undo and go through your dimensioning again. But yeah, let's get started. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to create a sketch. So here in the Sketch tab, you have Sketch. Just go ahead and click that, and now you'll see it gives us the list of planes that we can choose from to start sketching. We're going to sketch in the top plane. If you don't do this now, it'll be a little bit hard to do the blueprint, so please just follow through like this. So select the top plane. You'll see that it's highlighted orange. And then from here, come up to the top left and select circle. This will help you draw a circle. So to draw the circle, you'll define the center, which we want to be the origin. So just hover over the origin, and at the bottom right of your pencil, you can see a little yellow icon that tells you you're coincident with the origin. So go ahead and left click, and then just drag out. It doesn't matter how far you drag out right now. We'll go ahead and redefine that. So as you can see, the sketch is underdefined. It tells us that here, but we can also see that it's blue. So what we want to do is give it a dimension. So click the green check mark and then select Smart Dimension. And then hover over the edge of your circle. You'll see that it turns orange, and that just tells you that you're selecting your circle to give a dimension to. So click that and then click again, and you should get this dialog box that prompts you with what dimension you want to set. So we're going to go ahead and enter 128. You don't have to do anything with units because our default unit is the millimeter. So go ahead and click the green check mark and then exit your sketch. So now you can see we just have a sketch, but we want to create a plate from that. So you're going to go to the Features tab, select Extruded Boss / Base, and for some of you, it might throw you into this automatically. If not, just make sure you select Sketch 1 and then hit the Extrude Boss / Base again. A few things about the extrusion. So we're never going to change this from sketch plane. So don't mess with this. Don't mess with anything here for direction 2 or thin feature. We're just going to be focusing on direction 1. So a few things we can do is we can flip the extrusion so that it extrudes down. For this, we'll be extruding up, so make sure that the arrow is pointing up. You can set a height by dragging this, although this is pretty inaccurate, I would say. So you're going to want to define your height using this box right here. So for this project, we'll do 7. Again, don't worry about your units. And we want to make sure that we have the blind condition on. So click the green check mark, and now you should have a base plate for your pressure plate. You can kind of move around in your views by holding down the scroll wheel and dragging your mouse. But then in order to get back to the standard view, we want to, again, select this drop-down menu and top. Now, from here, we're going to do another sketch on top of this plate. So you'll select the Sketch tab, the Sketch option, and then you want to hover over the top face. You'll see that the edge turns slightly orange, and that just means that you're on this face. So go ahead and left click on this, and we'll draw another circle with a dimension of 75 millimeters. So once you've drawn the circle, use the smart dimension to give it the dimension of 75. Whenever you've completed something, you can either hit enter or click this green check mark that appeared over here. It's up to you. Next, we're going to use the offset entities, and this is really cool. It gives us an offset of the sketch that we have selected. So when you select offset entities, you're going to hover over this inner circle so that the circumference turns orange, and then click that, and you can see here this is our predicted line. So this is SolidWorks telling you, if you click the green check mark now, this is what you're going to get. What we want to do is we want to change this to 5 millimeters and then select the reverse option. What this will do is it draws a circle inside a distance 5 away, so the difference in the radius is 5 millimeters. Now, this is what your part should look like. Go ahead and play around with the view a little bit, just so that you familiarize yourself with it, and then throw yourself back into the top view. Now, we'll exit the sketch, which again is in the top left, and go to the Features tab. From here, we want to select Extruded Boss/Base, and you should get this orange ring. If you can shift your view around a little bit, it should look kind of like a cylinder. So then we'll change this to be 12 millimeters in height. So enter 12 in your box here and hit enter a few times until it appears like this. From here, we'll be learning how to use the fillet tool. So while you're in features, you're going to go up, and it's kind of in the middle right here. You can see fillet. Just go ahead and click that. Fillet is a great tool for softening the edges on a piece. In manufacturing, you'll usually see a chamfer, but I won't get into that. Those of you who are in AME, you have that to look forward to in your machine shop class. So once you've selected the fillet tool, you want to select the faces that you want to fillet, or the edges. In this case, we're going to be selecting 2 faces. So it's this top face right here, which you can get by hovering over kind of in the center of this. Again, you'll see the edges that are going to be filleted by the orange highlight, and then this face should turn blue once you have it selected. Next, we're going to select this bottom face that goes around. Again, it should turn blue. And then we'll change this radius, which we can do by scrolling down over here. We'll change this to 2 millimeters. And click the green check mark. Now your part should look like this. You can see the edges of it have been curved off or filleted. And yeah, go ahead and throw yourself in the top view mode. And next, we're going to draw a circle in the center. If you feel confident enough to do this, go ahead. A few things about the circle is we're going to give it a diameter of 25, and it's coincident with the center. So if you feel comfortable enough doing this on your own, go ahead and pause the video right here. When you unpause it, I'll go ahead and walk you through this step. Okay, so what we want to do first is select the Sketch tab and then the Sketch tool, and we'll select this face right here. You can see that the inner circle turns orange. From here, we'll select the circle tool and get it coincident with the origin, drag it out, and then green check mark, smart dimension, select the circumference of your circle, drop that, and enter 25. And then exit the sketch. Now from here, we're not going to be extruding this, we're actually going to be cutting a hole in the center of our plate. So select extruded cut, and it should throw you into automatically doing the cut. It'll just appear yellow, but through your plate. For a condition, we're going to select through all in direction 1, and that just means this will be through your whole plate, which is what we want, and click OK. Now you can see we have a hole in our plate. For some of you, it may look a little bit odd from the top-down view. It may be shaded, but just go ahead and change your orientation so that you can see that it's for sure cut all the way through. Now from here, we're going to create a center line, and this will be used for our next feature. So in your Sketch tab, select Sketch, and then in the line drop-down menu, select Center Line, select this top face, and then make sure that you're incident with the origin and drag directly up. I don't believe I'm incident with the origin, so let me do that again. Perfect. And then just drag directly up. Right now, it doesn't matter what size it is, so you can click the right button and then select, or you can hit escape to escape the sketching, and then select circle, and we're going to want to zoom in up here on the top. We'll draw a circle coincident with the end of your center line here, and it doesn't matter how big it is for now. We'll change that with smart dimensions. So now that you have those two things drawn, select your smart dimensions, and we're going to give the circle a diameter of 27 millimeters, and we're going to change this length of the center line so that it's 35 millimeters. As you can see, it's pretty much in the center of the inner cylinder, and that's what we want for now. Make sure that it's completely vertical, as that'll help with a later step. And you can tell that by this line right here. So once you've given those dimensions, click the green check mark and then exit your sketch, and then extrude that cylinder. So if you feel confident doing that extrusion yourself, go ahead, pause the video. So hopefully you got that. Now we're in the Features tab. We'll select Extruded Boss / Base, and it should auto-highlight. If not, remember to select the sketch out here, Sketch 4, extruded boss slash base, and then we'll enter 30 millimeters for the height. Click the green check mark, and you're done. Well, with that step. From here, we're going to create a sketch on this top face. So navigate to your Sketch tab, select your Sketch tool, and what you're going to want to do is hover over the edge of this cylinder. Let's see, why is this not working? Let's go to top view real quick. So go ahead and hover over the edge of your cylinder. Okay. Click on the top face first, and then with your circle, hover over the edge of your cylinder. You should see a center mark appear right here, and that's just a little black cross. And then with your circle tool, put that on the center. And then we're going to define that circle to be a radius of, or a diameter of 15 millimeters. From here, we'll click the green check mark and exit the sketch. And then we'll use the extruded cut tool. Actually, perfect reminder. So down here, if you haven't saved your document already, go ahead and save that now. I should have been telling you guys to save this more frequently. If you get this error, just go ahead and hit rebuild and save. So yeah, make sure you save your part pretty frequently. Otherwise, it's possible that it crashes and you lose your progress. So again, from here, we're going to select Sketch 5, Extruded Cut, and we want our condition to be through all. That just makes sure that we're through the bottom of this plate. Click the green check mark, and from top view, you can see now you have two holes. So one in the center and one through that second auxiliary cylinder. Okay, from here we're going to do some filleting. So this fillet is a little bit difficult. So what we want to do is we want to select a different display style. That's right next to your view orientation button up here in the top toolbar. So click the drop-down menu and select Hidden Lines Visible. It should be this second from bottom one. When you change your orientation, you should be able to see all the lines for your piece. From here, we will select the fillet tool, and we'll select this top face, or we can do the edge. So we'll select this edge here, this edge, and hopefully, yeah, it gives us this option. It doesn't look like any of these are correct. So a little bit annoying, but what we'll go do is select all of these edges of the arc manually. And again on the other side over here. Whoops. Okay, now that you've done that, you kind of want to zoom out and make sure that both the arcs are selected. You have this top edge selected and this top edge selected. And then you're going to hover down here at the base and you'll select this line. So you should have, it's going to say 13 edges. It might also say 5 depending on what your program lets you do, but you can check with the blue highlights. It'll be the top 2 edges and then the arcs and then this bottom edge. Your fillet parameter should already be set to 2 millimeters in radius. If not, just scroll down and edit that and then hit the OK. And we'll go back to the shaded with edges view. So this is what your part should look like. You can see that we have the fillets here, on the top, and then here on the bottom as well. From here, we're going to edit our view a little bit. So up here in the top, select view. We're going to select hide/show and then temporary axes. You'll see some blue lines pop up. One's through the center cut extrusion in your auxiliary cylinder, and then one's through the center of the plate. We'll be using just this center plate one. So now we have to pattern our cylinder. So what we'll do is in the Features tab, select the drop-down menu from the linear pattern, select circular pattern, and then from this tree here, you can select the drop-down menu and make sure that under Features and Faces, this box is selected as blue. You're going to select your last 3 elements. So that's the boss extrude 3, the cut extrude 2, and the fillet 2. Everything should highlight kind of blue. And if it doesn't, just go ahead and unselect and reselect the different options. Then from here, you want to make sure that you have equal spacing selected. This should automatically change to 360 degrees, but if not, change that. And then here, I think the preset is 2. Go ahead and change that to 6 instances. And then I almost forgot, we have to select the pattern axis. So make sure that this box here is highlighted blue, and then you want to select one of these. And so it's possible that only a portion highlights yellow. That's fine as long as it's one of the center segments. And you should get this yellow looking prediction. So this is just Solidworks telling you, hey, this is what it's going to look like after you hit the green check mark. This looks good to me, so go ahead and hit that green check mark. And you can see now we have 6 cylinders. They're all symmetric. They all have holes through them and are all filleted, so that's perfect. From here, these are the last few steps in this pressure plate. The next video will walk you through creating a blueprint from this pressure plate. Go ahead and save your file now if you haven't already saved it. And in the Features tab, we'll select the fillet option. You want to change your orientation by holding down the scroll wheel and shifting your mouse a little bit. And that's so that we can see this interior and exterior edge right here. So first we're going to select this exterior edge. You just want this single edge from any of the cylinders. And then you can, let me undo that for you. So you can see that it predicted that we're going to do this yellow line. For some of you, that won't show up. It'll be a few different options next to your cursor on how you want to propagate that. And just select the one that propagates it so that it's only the outside edge of all of these cylinders here. Then from here, make sure that your fillet parameter is radius 2, and you can hit the green check mark. And then we're going to do another fillet with the interior edge. So select the fillet option again and come to this edge, select this, and you can see mine auto propagates it to the interior. If not, again, select the propagation tool that makes it so that all of this interior edge is highlighted. Your parameter is going to be radius 2 again, and then hit the green check mark. And so now if you look at your piece, you see 6 cylinders, a plate with a hole, all the cylinders have holes, and then pretty much every edge is filleted, which is perfect. So from here, check the bottom. You can see that all of these are filleted as well. These two, this bottom, or the center cutout, doesn't need to be filleted. So from here, this is perfect. We can go to View, Hide/Show, turn off the temporary axes and the axes, and this is your piece. So go ahead and save it now. If there's any certain way that things need to be saved, I would ask your TAs just to be sure. But we'll go over turning your blueprint into PDF in the next video and everything. Yeah, have a good one, and see you guys in the next.